So yeah, this game comes out January.
This game's already out.
The remake comes out. Yes, this game is already out. Yes, you are right. The remake of this game.
Use one of the loaders to get the marker off the shuttle.
I'm working on it. The remake of this game comes out towards the end of January. Callisto Protocol, which looks, man, I hope that game is good. It looks so good though.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be very difficult for me to be disappointed in Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always a possibility.
Oh, sure. It could be another Mega Man Mighty Number 9. You never know. You know, just because it looks good doesn't mean it's gonna be good.
What is Mighty Number 9?
You've never heard of Mighty Number 9?
I feel like I've heard of it. I just don't know what the deal is with that.
Okay, you probably have, but I'll give you the brief rundown.
Yeah, give me a quick rundown while I try to figure out how to get the thing out of here.
Capcom hasn't done anything with the Mega Man series for a long time now.
Okay.
Mega Man fans want another Mega Man game. They crowdfund another Mega Man knockoff called Mighty Number 9. It's in developer hell for like 10 years. When it comes out, it's actually complete garbage. It plays like ass. No one likes it. And it's a huge disappointment, and Mega Man fans are sad forever.
Okay.
I might be messing up some details with that, but that's like the very rough version.
It's really disappointing that they crowdfunded a game and then the game was shit.
Yes, you don't have to tell me. I was looking forward to Yooka-Laylee, and that game was also not very impressive.
Well, it's like the people working on Fallout London. Bethesda keeps poaching them.
Oh yeah?
Bethesda keeps poaching the people working on Fallout London. And basically the lead developer of Fallout London has been like, hey, I really want to see this project through to the end. So Bethesda, can you stop fucking poaching my people?
Is that how it's been going?
Pretty much. It's just like, will you let me just finish this?
No, they're not gonna let you just finish it because they have brand new... Don't you understand the grind, the pressure that Bethesda is under? They have to bring in new talent, squeeze every last bit of life from them, bleed that rock completely dry, throw them away, and then suck the life out of new people. That's how game development works.
I'm sure that the people working on Fallout London have not actually used the language that I used. I'm sure it was much more professional and much more like, hey, we really want to finish this. We're committed to sticking with the project until the very end, but we're running out of people because Bethesda keeps stealing them.
To work on Fallout 77,
yeah,
a sequel to the well-beloved online gameplay of Fallout 76.
I hope that this part changes a little bit in the remake.
All the puzzles.
This part isn't great. I'm not a huge fan of this, where you're just moving the marker from one spot to another.
Right. See, the thing is, though, with these remakes...
Isaac, the marker needs to be returned to the pedestal.
Yes.
Yes, we know, Nicole.
Use the loader to bring it there and place it on the pedestal. Replace
Make us whole again. Anyway, may Altman join you, etc., etc. Go to the store, upgrade some stuff. So, yeah, they're gonna come out with a remake to this game, but it's gonna be like... It's gonna be like The Last of Us, where you could play the remade version of The Last of Us for $70, or you could play the older version for like $5 or $10 and get like 90 to 95% of the gameplay experience. You could play the game for dirt cheap if you accept that it's going to be, you know, slightly lesser graphics.
I would still prefer to play the version with more smooth controls, because the controls in this game they're not great. They could be better.
But you still love this game.
I still love this game, but yes, the controls could be better.
You and I were talking about this, and I'm like, don't you want to wait for the remake? And you're like, no, I want to play Dead Space. I want to play Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2.
Because we're trying to get that algorithmic synchronicity.
But we shouldn't have been releasing this stuff at this point. We should have waited for the remake.
Yeah, but did you see how many views the last Dead Space video got? Because the trailer came out the same day.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. We're not doing this for the views. We're doing it because we're having fun.
Yeah.
At least I hope you're having fun.
No, I'm miserable. Every time I come over, I want to die.
Great, thanks.
I'm kidding.
Glad I built a company around this failing friendship.
No! Now I feel bad. Now I feel terrible.
I was gonna get an accountant to manage my finances, but I guess why bother at this point? This company's doomed to the toilet anyway.
Good lord.
No, but anyway, fuck Dead Space. I hate everything about it. Every game you love. And yes, all the games I love are awful too. Except for Star Fox 64, which is timeless.
Everything is terrible, Mike. We just have to accept the fact that everything is awful.
Everything is terrible in its own way. Everything is completely awful. That's what I've got to say. Throw it in the garbage, please.
Mike is
Nobody
singing.
likes anything. We're all just pretending so we don't cry ourselves to sleep. The door's locked. You can't go that way.
I go this way.
Gotta find the key.
Oh boy!
That's
Oh
not a
no!
cake.
No!
That's
No!
not
No!
a
No!
cake.
No!
That's
No!
not
No!
like it.
No!
No, leave him alone.
No!
Use the force gun. Force him to die. They're just crawling around. No! He put a proboscis. Okay, now we're good.
Good lord, that took a lot of shots to kill him.
Oh, jeez.
That was. God, there were two of them in. I was like, usually when I come in this room, I shoot everyone's head off. I don't remember why, and then I opened the door and remembered why.
How did you? Oh.
I was like,
You remember doing that for a previous room, but not for that room? In previous rooms, I cut everyone's limbs off for this specific reason. I used to do it in this room too, but I can't remember why.
I don't know why.
Could it have been for the exact same reason? No, couldn't be.
Nah.
It
I'm
brings
glad they're remaking this game. I would be like, why are we doing this? If they were remaking Dead Space 2. If they were remaking Dead Space 2, I would be like, why are we remaking that one?
Oh, you think Dead Space 2 is a lot more updated than Dead Space?
Yes, Dead Space 2 is a lot. Dead Space 2 doesn't feel as
dated?
It doesn't feel as dated and it doesn't feel as clunky. Hello?
Doesn't it though? I feel like the only thing Dead Space 2 really improved on the formula was giving a faster melee. Was it? Well, I guess I don't remember the space, like the zero G portion. Maybe
Zero G portion is a lot better. It doesn't feel nearly as clunky. It just feels like a much more solid, much more timeless game than this one does.
I bet you they're gonna remake Dead Space 2 once Dead Space Remake is out, though.
Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. I don't think they necessarily need to do that one.
But it's not about what needs to be done. It's about can we make money from it, and they absolutely can. Especially if Dead Space 1 Remake does very well. And then they'll remake Dead Space 3, and then they'll completely abandon the series for another 20 years because EA is awful.
I hope they don't remake Dead Space 3. Dead Space 3 is not good.
What if they remade Dead Space 3 as a single-player experience that it initially should have been?
Then yay, but they won't.
They won't now. What if the gaming industry did something that wasn't awful? That would be great for a change.
They won't.
All right.
What are games that you want to see remade?
Yeah, we were talking about that, then I completely skipped. We got sidetracked.
I had said basically Bloodborne maybe, but more likely I just want the Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid 2 as well. Like Metal Gear Solid 3 did this like the same thing that Metal Gear Solid 2 did, where they came out with awful, like a pretty awful over the top-down bird's eye view camera, and then like 2 years later they came out with an updated version that was like, hey, why don't we have a camera system that isn't hot garbage?
Yeah, why don't we have a camera system like most other games are doing right now? I kind of want to see a remake of the first of Resident Evil 1. I realized they did so.
They do a remake.
Yeah, they did a remake technically, but that remake came out literally 20 years ago. It does still hold up. Like, it still looks good. Mm-hmm. It's just...
It looks good. It doesn't play good. It plays like awful forklift Resident Evil.
It plays like the original Resident Evil. So if they could just honestly, like, change it a little bit.
Why don't we stop playing the game?
Oh, I don't know, because I was talking about
because you wanted to focus on your rant about how much you wanted a proper Resident Evil remake.
So, I don't know, maybe Resident Evil 1, it's, again, one of those things that doesn't really need to be remade.
I feel like if you're gonna remake a game, if you're trying to pick games to remake, games that are beloved but still don't hold up, yeah, the remake, the Resident Evil 1 remake is beloved but also does not hold up. You can keep the cutscenes and everything, you just gotta update the gameplay.
Yeah. Gameplay just needs to be done a little bit better. Because, like, it's fun. I love playing Resident Evil 1. It's just the controls do not make it easy. It's the same thing as, like, I've tried to go back and play Metal Gear Solid on my completely legitimate PlayStation 1 that I own. On my physical copy I own. I've tried to go back and play that, and it's real hard.
Yes, I believe that. Yep.
Hell, it's difficult to play Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
And like that game, it looks a million times better.
You know what? Not only do I want them to do an updated version of Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2. I want them to make not just a graphical update. I want them to completely remaster that, rebuild it from the ground up, and also like the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2.
Oh, that's what I want them to remake.
Yeah.
There was talk of that for a long time, that people were working on Metal Gear and Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. And of course it leads nowhere. There's always like, there were the fan versions, but every single time there was word of the fan version, like anytime someone was like, hey, I need people to work on this, it would immediately get shut down by Konami.
Of course.
Every single time. There was, I think, one point where David Hayter was even like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do this one.
Yeah.
Like, they got David Hayter to work on the game with them, and Konami was like, no, stop it!
Yeah.
Stop it! You're trying to make money without us!
Quickly, other games that I think they should remake, Fallout 1 and 2, which are completely unplayable for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. I would love that.
And I'm looking forward to the fan remakes of them if they ever come out. I'd love to play those.
They won't.
You know, I wouldn't say they're guaranteed to never come out. I mean, other things have come out, so who knows? Maybe. Star Fox 64, port the DS version over the Switch.
Right now, I could be moving this thing while I'm fighting these guys, but I also...
Why bother?
Yeah, I have enough ammo. I got enough stuff.
There's no rush. Bring Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie to the PC.
No, we don't need to do those.
I don't want to...
Banjo-Kazooie doesn't need to exist anymore. Just delete them.
Doesn't exist.
Delete them from history.
Give me Banjo-Kazooie 3.
No, any game Mike wants, he can't have it. Because Mike was talking shit on Dead Space!
Yeah, it was. Oh, there was something I was trying to say earlier. The PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2 games were being remade for the PlayStation 3, updating them for high definition and stuff like that. And there was all these announcements like, hey, the Ratchet & Clank series is getting updated, high definition, you can download it, yay! Hey, the Jak and Daxter series is being remade, high definition, you can download it, yay! Oh, the God Hand game, yeah! We're letting you buy the standard definition on PlayStation Store if you want, I guess, for $10. We're not gonna do anything with it. It's not gonna be updated, not gonna be high definition, but it's there if you want it, I guess, whatever.
Well, Mike, that's because you are one of 5 people that liked the game God Hand.
Only because IGN gave it a shit review because IGN is awful.
I'm not saying it was a bad game, but it was definitely, oh my god, what is the name of the guy that directed Resident Evil 4? Because it's the same director.
Shinji Makatawa, Shigeru Miyamoto.
No, Shigeru Miyamoto is Mario, Mike.
You know his name more than I do. I don't know.
I can't remember what his name is, but anyway.
The guy who said he'll cut my head off before Resident Evil 4 comes to PlayStation. Yes, that guy.
Really? He said that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I didn't know he said that.
I remember Final Fantasy VII was getting the same treatment. Final Fantasy VII is being remade. It's going to be a graphical update. Everyone's looking forward to it. And
oh my god.
Hold on, before we even learned about Final Fantasy, everything being redone in the wrong way. But Final Fantasy VII was announced for being remade. You could see all the graphical improvements. Then Final Fantasy VIII, yeah, we're going to port the standard definition PlayStation version. If you want to play this garbage game on modern consoles, there you go, have fun with it. We're not going to do anything with it.
I understand they can't remake every single game.
Yeah.
Oh, and on the topic of Final Fantasy VII, they did Final Fantasy VII fans so fucking dirty with that game.
Yeah, we've mentioned that before.
I do not like Final Fantasy. As I have said before, I'm not vehemently opposed to it, but I just don't like it. I don't like the Final Fantasy games.
Right.
I'm not going to play any of them. I don't care about them. But, like, oh my god, I felt bad for Final Fantasy VII fans after hearing about what they did.
Yeah, they completely remade the story. Oh, no, this isn't your grandfather's Final Fantasy
This isn't a Final Fantasy you're used to.
We took all the interesting plot points from the first, the original game, and now we're just turning everything on its head, and now we're in an alternate universe, and time squids are changing in the course of history.
Ooh!
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad game. I wouldn't be opposed to a game like that.
Shit, look at all this.
I think the Final Fantasy, quote, remake wouldn't be as offensive if there were an actual, proper Final Fantasy VII remake that you could play still.
Yeah.
And this was like a spin-off game. That would be cool. But, yeah. It's kind of disappointing the games we want don't come out and then other games come out that are different.
Yeah. It's... I don't know.
Keep on moving the marker. Bit by bit.
It's like Square could very easily remake the Tomb Raider games. That'd be cool. I'd be into that, but no, they're gonna make Balan Wonderland instead. This game that is for literally nobody.
If they had come out with a decent game and not this complete circus that was that game.
I think you're almost there. You'll have to restore power to the bridges to move the marker through this area.
Like, think about all of the games that Square Enix owns that they could have made. Or all the games that Square Enix owns that they could have remade instead of spending a single fucking dollar on Balan Wonderworld.
Well, they didn't know it was going to be completely awful. They had an artistic vision for it to be decent. Their creative management went off the rails, and maybe the game turned out more awful. They were trying to do something new.
Dude, trying to do something new, making a fucking torture device is what they were trying to do.
It wasn't originally envisioned to be a torture device. People always complained about game companies remaking old games and not trying something new. And they tried something new and it turned out awful. Alright, it happens sometimes. It's no big deal. Balan Wonderworld, it's hilariously awful. No one wants to play it, but it's fun to laugh at it sometimes. Good on you for trying something new at the cost of your own finances instead of remaking, I don't know, Call of Duty for the 18th time.
Oh, they've only remade Call of Duty 3 times. How dare you? They've only
then
remade Modern Warfare 3 times.
Remade the game and then tried to resell you the DLC maps or whatever nonsense they do. It's kind of hard to keep track of all the complete nonsense that goes on in the companies here. Not every remake is going to be Resident Evil 2 and 3. Unfortunately.
I mean, even those Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes leave a bit to be desired.
Do they?
Some people say they leave a lot to be desired. I have actually talked to people that refuse to play them because they think they're literal trash.
Oh yeah, really?
I like them. I think they're fun, but there's a bunch of stuff that was in Resident Evil 2 that didn't make it into the remake. Like, where's the frickin' rail yard? Where's the rail yard level?
What you're saying is that they cut parts of Resident Evil 2's original version to make the remake more streamlined and maybe...
I don't know if it was necessarily make it more streamlined. Like, maybe? I don't know.
Wish they had done things a little differently, huh?
Yeah, I wish they'd done things differently. I wish 3 was longer. 3 is not nearly long enough.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Like, 3 is entirely too short.
That was one of the criticisms I heard when it came out. Yep.
I really like 3. I think it's fun, but there needs to be a lot more to it. And like, yes, I realize that there's all these different difficulties you can play it on, and there's all kinds of different things that you can do to change the game, to make a different gameplay experience, but still, like, it's not the same. And then, you know, you can also argue, like, well, why didn't they remake Resident Evil 0 instead of remaking Resident Evil 2? It's because nobody fucking likes Resident Evil 0.
Yeah, that's always the conundrum. Like, the games that need the remake the most are the games that aren't going to get remade the most because they're not going to make as much money as the games that
because they have a very small
are already good, yes. Code Veronica and Resident Evil 0 would super benefit from remasters. And yet they're just going for Resident Evil 4 again, the game that everyone's played.
The game that has had, let's be honest, more re-releases than Skyrim. Why did I do that?
I tried to headbutt him.
Resident Evil 4 has been released and re-released and put out on new systems more than Skyrim.
And I guess they have done some remaking of, I wouldn't even say remake of Code Veronica. They came out with like the light gun port. You could waggle the Wiimote, it's like a rail shooter kind of thing.
Yeah, but I don't like Code Veronica.
I know, exactly. You don't like Code Veronica. Mostly because of Steve and how awful he is. But they could remake that game and make it a game you would enjoy. But it's just not going to grab headlines as much as Resident Evil 4 again!
Well, at least it's not another fucking survival crafting game.
Yeah.
I hate survival crafting games.
I'm honestly surprised. What company owns Horizon Zero Dawn for that matter?
I don't know. I think it's Sony Computer Entertainment.
Because there's the thing. Dead Space being remade, yeah, Dead Space is a big name. Resident Evil being remade, yeah. Dead Space, and then Last of Us. Yeah, these are all big, popular titles that everyone knows. The Horizon Zero Dawn game? Who is still talking about that? That game was kind of overshadowed by, what game was it? Breath of the Wild when it was first announced?
Horizon Zero Dawn, every time they released a game, they released it at the exact same time as another massive open world game that immediately overshadowed it, and then nobody really wanted to play it because the other one came out.
Right,
So Breath of the Wild came out right before Horizon Zero Dawn, or like at the same time.
Right.
And everyone's like, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm wondering, like, why did they choose that game? Of all the games they could remake, that game not only holds up well, but it wasn't even super popular. No one's clamoring for a remake.
I don't know, somebody made money on it.
I would say if the remake of Horizon Zero Dawn doesn't come out with gameplay improvements, then what is even the point? If you still have to stop and pick up literally every plant you cross, what is even the point? If you don't streamline your dialogue so it's not a complete slog to get to the plot, what is the point?
That was my problem with that game. Is all of the dialogue was just felt like a chore.
Exactly.
It was just a chore. I'm not having an interesting conversation with this NPC.
And it was-
I'm just skipping through dialogue options until I can be done here.
And it was the exact same thing with the sequel, which came out not too long ago. So did they learn anything?
No.
What is this remake even going to do?
I don't know.
It'll be interesting to look back and see what they actually end up doing. Well, I guess not look back. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the future with that game. How much of a remake it actually is and how much of it is just a blatant cash grab. Because right now, I can't think of it being as anything other than that. It's just got to be a cash grab. We didn't make enough money on the initial release, so we're going to re-release it with a different release window.
You know what's gonna be really funny is that it comes out the same time as another like larger
Breath of the
thing.
Wild 2, they announced
Yeah,
the exact
oh my god. Oh my god. That would be hilarious if it came out the same time as Breath of the Wild 2.
Or Tears of the Kingdom, or whatever it's called.
I think it's literally called Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of Hyrule, or Tears, I don't know, whatever.
I think it's called Tears of the Kingdom. or
Whatever,
something.
I'm gonna play it.
I know you are. You like the first one. And then before they come up with the third game, they're gonna remake the first game.
Excuse me. There
Breath
we
of
go.
the Wild remake coming out in 2027.
No, Nintendo won't remake it. Nintendo doesn't remake anything.
Yeah. Except Star Fox, but not on the system I own.
They would rather just, like, charge you money and then be like, well, why don't you just buy a Nintendo 64 and play... Well, if you want to play Donkey Kong so badly, why don't you just go buy a Nintendo 64?
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Oh,
Oh, big boy.
got a brute over there. One of them brutes. Yep. Slow motion punch. You missed, buddy. We'll take you out nice and quick. Easy. Not
Easy
a problem.
peasy.
And then freeze you again. Freezy, Japanese.
Ow! I pressed the wrong button. I tried to kinesis him instead of freeze him.
You brought him closer to you. That actually worked. That was what you wanted. You're welcome.
She?
Force gun. Force him to back away. Force them in the hole. You get him?
I'm gonna be honest. This force gun is not really doing it.
I don't think it works on bosses. At least not very effective.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, might as well just resort to the plasma cutter. Click, 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 off go your limbs. Click, 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 off go your limbs.
Remember me, I'm Mr. Plow. That's my name, I'm Mr. Plow. Is that how it goes? I forget.
I don't know.
I saw a node. Where'd it go? Did I pick it up?
No. I don't think you did.
I must have picked it up because it's not here anymore.
Is it in your inventory? You can check. Is his body resting on it? You have to move it somehow? You don't have the node yet.
I have 3 nodes.
Oh, okay. It's not... What is that inventory? The node you picked up, isn't it taking up an inventory slot?
Yeah, because you have a specific node spot.
Why can't you have a specific health slot, too?
I don't know.
You freeze it, you move that thing underneath the drawbridge. That makes sense. That's very sensible. Yep, that makes a whole lot of sense. And they're gonna do the same thing over here, but it's on the other way. So you gotta wait for that thing to drop, or you can just cross it this way.
Yeah, you just cross over here.
That makes sense.
You go beep boop. Beep boop.
And you relocate this one to your side.
Mike, we're almost done with this game.
Oh, it's gonna be so sad to see it go.
How do you feel about it?
It's all right.
How do you feel about it having played it again?
Well, technically I didn't play it. I was
Having
watching
sat through it again.
Yeah. It's good. I think it still holds up. I think it had a big impact when it first came out, and now it's, looking back at it, it's still a decent, solid, well-made game. I don't have any complaints really, except for the small little nitpicks here and there.
It's a really good game.
The lock to 30 frames per second.
It's a little annoying.
The physics lock to the frame rate, which breaks things if you try and play it at a fast speed.
It's also annoying.
The turret sequence, the zero gravity, the slow, sluggish melee, all that stuff that could easily be improved with a single patch, but I guess they're gonna remake the entire game. It's totally fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore.
Again, that's how I feel about Bloodborne. There's all the stuff that could be easily fixed with a patch, and Sony's just like, no.
That's because they gotta re-release it in 3 years as Bloodborne Remastered.
They're never gonna re-release it.
Oh, okay.
I know everybody wants them to remake it or whatever. It's never gonna happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's never gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna be really awkward when that is announced like the day before this video goes out. It makes you seem
Then
like a fool.
I will be very pleasantly surprised.
I've
that
never been happier to eat crow!
Yeah, I will be very happy to be proven wrong. but I feel like they're not going to.